This is Brian Wallace, the Director of Marketing at Kiefer Consulting, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us this morning for our webinar called Accelerating Business Workflows with Nintex and DocuSign. We actually have one of our consultants presenting today, Matt Greene, and he'll be taking over in just a minute. I'll let you know a couple things real quick before we get started. In the GoToWebinar panel over on the side of your screen, you'll see a little drop down for questions. So if any time during this presentation you have a question, please go ahead and just input it into the box, and we'll try to get to them as we move through the presentation. Today we got about a half hour scheduled for the presentation with a few minutes at the end for questions. And as always, if there's any questions that you have after this webinar ends, please feel free to reach out to us. Our contact information was in the GoToWebinar invite, and you can also get a hold of us through our website, kieferconsulting.com. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Matt. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Brian. So just again, to quickly introduce myself and put a voice, name to the voice. I'm Matt Greene. I'm a senior consultant with Kiefer Consulting. I specialize in information architecture, front-end design, and business process automation with experience in building both Nintex and SharePoint workflows. So before we get started, I wanted to just provide a little bit of information about the company I work for, Kiefer Consulting. So Kiefer Consulting has been in business for nearly 30 years, and we're a leading provider of online solutions for the state of California. We work with both private and public sector customers and have expertise in all things SharePoint, Office 365, as well as deep expertise in .NET development, infrastructure architecture and deployment, and much more. Kiefer Consulting is also partners with a large number of industry leaders, including being qualified as a gold partner of Microsoft. So Kiefer Consulting's capabilities include things like designing and developing public websites, creating custom enterprise applications, corporate portals, as well as providing expertise in other services such as content and document management. We also specialize in helping organizations with business process automation through custom workflows and form development, as well as providing process insight through business intelligence. So in today's presentation, we'll be covering the topics of improving your business processes with automation using Nintex and DocuSign. Okay. So everyone showed up. So to start, I want to briefly cover the current business climate that we all sort of find ourselves in today. After that, we'll go into how Nintex and DocuSign can be used to make business process improvements, and then I will actually take you through a brief demo of a real solution built using Nintex and DocuSign so we can sort of see the product in action. So let's get started. So it's no secret that the business world is moving faster than ever, right? So for individuals and businesses alike, the ability to complete tasks quickly isn't just a nice-to-have quality. It's expected. To keep pace in this ultra-competitive marketplace, it's essential for organizations to streamline their work whenever and wherever possible. Not simply to keep the business running, but to push the business forward as well, right? While the demand for process streamlining is growing, so is the number of people in your organization that are creating content, using content to make decisions, and looking for ways to store, share, and collaborate on that content. This growth in content can present a problem with collaboration and process improvement efforts. So knowing what type of file, who's maintaining it, where it's stored, or how it's handled by the business can be complicated to follow. When this content growth collides with the expectations for businesses to perform faster and better, it often results in ad hoc, unstructured processes being created in an attempt to kind of quickly bridge the gaps left behind from using multiple line of business applications and platforms. These ad hoc processes are usually poorly constructed and often very manual, since line of business applications are typically designed as siloed solutions without an easy way to connect to other applications or processes used by your business. While manual processes keep businesses moving, they are not enhancing and improving the business to better reach your goals. So every business faces these issues, and I'm sure each one of you have found yourself sort of thinking, there's got to be a better way. How can we adapt and solve these sort of business problems that we have? How do we make our work flow better? That essentially is where Nintex comes in. So you undoubtedly already have hundreds or maybe thousands of processes that make your business work. The goal of the Nintex Workflow platform is to automate and improve these processes quickly and effectively. The Nintex Workflow platform was created to better connect people, process, and content in and across your business. It does this by providing a robust platform that covers a wide variety of features like simple process automation, custom forms, document generation, system integration through connectors, and mobile-ready solutions so you can access your work anywhere, anytime. The Nintex platform offers a number of products to cover all areas of business automation improvement. There is Nintex Workflow, which is a visual workflow platform that can be used to automate business processes quickly and easily through a drag-and-drop interface. There's the Nintex Forms product, which is a simple and fast form tool to help you create, publish, and deploy custom and dynamic forms anywhere. There's a Nintex Mobile, which is a mobile-first platform that lets you build Nintex-based mobile applications for enterprise deployment and use directly on your devices. And built into all of this are the Nintex Connectors, which allow you to easily bridge the gap between your business applications and connect everything into a true automated end-to-end process. So how does DocuSign fit into all of this? The answer is actually very naturally. DocuSign is an e-signature solution that mirrors many of the same goals that the Nintex platform tries to fulfill. Its purpose is to simplify your day-to-day by improving your business processes quickly and easily. It does this by taking what has traditionally been a manual process, the act of collecting business signatures, and digitalizing it to better fit into the automated digital world that we all work in today. This digitalization of signatures through DocuSign creates a wide range of benefits for your business. It helps you speed up your process completion by digitalizing and automating what is traditionally a very manual process. There's no more copiers, no more fax machines or snail mail to slow things down. It reduces errors by creating well-defined and secure processes. Documents are locked and encrypted, allowing the user to read it but not modify it. This ensures each process is uniform and identical in how it fulfills your business requirements. DocuSign also exceeds the expected security standards required by the Federal e-Sign Act, UETA, and international laws, basically allowing these signatures to be legally binding for your business transactions. Because it is digital as well, it is actually accessible anywhere, anytime, and on any device, extending the reach of your business. They have mobile applications for all platforms as well, so you can basically have a very friendly interface right on your phone to be able to make your e-signatures. This helps your business to then get more done, focus on what's important and matters, and then also expand your business, all through the improvements that come with a digital and automated e-signature process. So when the simplicity of DocuSign's e-signature solution is then combined with the power of Nintex Workflow automation, the result is really a perfect match. We can now build these fully automated and digital end-to-end processes that include business signatures, allowing us to streamline our business and reach our goals faster and more effectively. This is made incredibly easy because of the integration between the two products. So all I really have to do in Nintex is drag and drop a DocuSign action into my workflow, quickly configure it using the simple settings form, and then I'm ready to go to add electronic signatures to my automated process. It is just that easy. So to just demonstrate this, we're going to jump right into a demo. So I want to be able to look at how Nintex and DocuSign can be used to better automate and improve processes. So we'll actually look at a live demo now. So I'm going to jump out of this presentation real quick. So you guys should all be seeing my page right here, this website. I'll give it a quick refresh. So this is a SharePoint 2013 environment, one that Kiefer has. And essentially what this process will be, it is going to be a process in which customers will be able to submit a public form to our company. And that form is a request to discuss a top secret new product that we are offering. So in this case, what we need to have in the process is the form submission, and then we want to automate the email and signature process of a non-disclosure agreement. And then basically once they've signed that non-disclosure agreement, we can then follow up with them with an invite to our presentation and our discussion topic. That way we can get feedback from the customers and so forth. So in order to start this, I'm going to submit a form pretending to be a customer from our Nintex form. So in this case, this is the Nintex form product, and we're using the Nintex Live platform, which allows us to have an external form that can be then entered into our intranet where we can do processing against that. So I'm going to just fill this form out real quick and give a fictitious company name. And then I'm going to save this form. So the form's been submitted. If we give it a minute, it should appear over here in our system. But while we wait for that to come through, let's take a look at that workflow real quick that we're going to be running on this. So we described a little bit about how this workflow is going to work. Essentially, it's basically accepting the item. It's going to generate an NDA for us using DocuSign. It's going to send that NDA out to my email account. And once I've responded to that NDA, we should then continue the processing of the item, allowing us to know when exactly we're ready to go. So in this case, the workflow is fairly simple. This is just a standard Nintex workflow. We've got a bunch of actions in here. Actions are basically each one of these little blocks that you see here. And actions can contain other actions in them. Accidentally disabled that. So in this case, we're doing some processing of the workflow at the beginning here. I can minimize that to make my view a little bit easier. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And then what we see right here is a DocuSign possible template, right? So we'll get back to this, but essentially that's how simple these things are, is we can basically just drag and drop our actions into here and be able to populate a DocuSign template. Let me come back here and see if we've got this processing done. So we can see here the item has been entered. We've got a new item in our intranet, and the workflow process has started on the item. So basically right now, we're just waiting for an email. And once our email comes through, which actually I'm seeing over here, I'll bring this over here. And I'm going to download these images. So essentially, DocuSign has already started the process for us. This is really great because basically in the workflow, we're passing the user information to DocuSign. DocuSign is then generating the NDA for us. And DocuSign is also emailing our customer with this very friendly, easy to read email interface, basically asking them to review the document and then sign it. In this case, we see here, it's coming from Kiefer Consulting. We're looking at, they're asking us to sign the NDA agreement in order to take part in the Kiefer Consulting discussion. So really, to sign a document, it's just as easy as clicking the Review Document button, and we'll be loaded into DocuSign. So first thing we need to do is we have to agree to the Electronic Records and Signature Act disclosure agreement. And so essentially that just means that we are agreeing that what we're doing here is going to be legally binding. So we'll click Continue. And so as we can see here, a bunch of the information is just filled out for me automatically. So with this non-disclosure agreement, the date in which it starts, my name, the company I work for, it's all filled out. I can very easily just next my way throughout the entire procedure. So they'll go field by field for what we can do. In addition, you might see these colors are a little bit different from piece to piece. And that actually tells me that this is a read-only field, so I have no ability to change this, whereas this one's an optional field, which is not necessarily required, whereas this one's a required field for me to make sure I filled out. You have the ability to change these templates to sort of fit your needs. If you want everything to be read-only or optional or required, those are all things you have the ability to do. So again, we can just follow through with all this information. Again, it's all filled out, the company name, my title, my printed name, and then here we go with our signature. So it's asking us to sign. What's really nice about DocuSign is it actually gives you some flexibility. So as a user, I can change my name, I can change my initials, and also it will actually give you a style automatically of a DocuSign signature. And I have the ability to change that style. So there's some preference choices for your users as well. So in which case, if I think this looks a little bit more realistic towards my signature, I can adopt that. Or if I even want to draw my own signature, I'm not going to try to do this on the desktop. So I'd rather adopt one. I'll say adopt and sign. And really, that's all there is to it, to assigning a document. So what essentially I have to do is I can either click up here or click down here and say finish. And essentially that's it. What this screen up here pops up to is it gives me the option to download or to print a copy myself. But I don't necessarily need to do that because DocuSign will automatically email me a PDF copy of my completed NDA. So it's really nice because basically it handles the entire process for document signatures in such a way that it's very well organized and that it's always going to be the same for every user. So I'm going to say no thank you here. I'm going to leave that. So then what we can actually go see, let's take a look, see if I run an email. You can see the completed email here, right? And already here's a actual copy of my NDA. I'm going to open this in PDF format, so I can actually go and see my copy right here with all my e-signature and encrypted information for what I have. Again, these are all choices that you have the option to change or to adjust to yourself. So you have the ability to make these changes to things. So let me go back to my workflow. I'm going to minimize this. I just kind of want to show you how simple it is to add one of these things. So by default, DocuSign actions are going to be included in Nintex. And you can actually extend these and connect them to different environments if you choose to. But really, in order to do something like populate a document template, it's just a drag and drop functionality. So in which case, I can just drag it right in here. And then I can configure the item. And to configure the item, there's two ways to do it. You can just double click it, or in which case here I can hit configure. And you get a very nice and convenient pop-up. And so essentially this pop-up basically will show you what environment you need to connect to. You're able to pick a template name. So in this case, it's my NDA template that I'm choosing. You can tell it to actually save it, just create and save as a draft, or send an envelope being essentially a self-enclosed action item, a document that needs to be signed. And the reason it's called an envelope because you can technically add more than one document. So if you have a process or procedure that needs to have 2 or 3 documents get signed, you can build out an envelope to have all those documents included with different processes and different desired fields for each one of them in order that the end user, the person who's receiving the request, can just go in one place and be able to process all their documents at one time. So that really simplifies things for you as a business. It means you don't have to send a different email for every single document. So again, to get this going, it's just a matter of just filling out the forms here. We can use dynamic text from Nintex, so in which case I don't have to hard code a recipient name. I can, based on the form, pass the name provided by the end user into the system. There's also error handling in case you want to do error handling, which is super important and very useful. So that way, if there is ever a problem, you can just process that problem however you need to. And really, that's essentially all it takes in order to get started with the process. We've got a couple actions further down in here where we're actually then processing for a status on the envelope. So we're going to keep an eye on the process and make sure that it's actually going to complete. And once it's completed, we're basically going back and we're going to then download the document. So this, again, is a great little add-on. Is we can actually reach into DocuSign through Nintex, be able to grab the finalized PDF version of the signed NDA and pull it back into SharePoint. That way we've got an extra record in SharePoint. Okay. So an additional thing to note here that's really cool is we were seeing that we actually have, as the end user, we're getting notifications. But on top of that, our actual administrator is getting notifications as well. So the nice thing about this is the first notification that our administrator, who's Ted Key Tester, he's got a notification telling him that I actually opened and viewed the document today at 10:14. So that's really nice for you to automatically be able to keep tabs on your process, because you guys will get, whoever's in charge of the process can actually set up notifications so they can know when each individual is actually looking at their item. So again, this is just a viewing of the item. It doesn't tell me that I've signed the item. So that's an actual different notification. And again, what's really nice, it tells me that that Matt, myself, has actually completed the process, and then here's, again, a PDF attached version of the NDA that I've configured in the system to be passed along. So there's multiple different ways you can get these notifications. We're doing kind of a combination of all three. We're tracking this stuff in DocuSign, we're tracking this stuff through email and Nintex, and we're tracking this stuff in SharePoint as well. So that just kind of goes to show the gamut of different options that you have to do this. So you might be asking, well, how do you set this stuff up on the DocuSign side? Well, that's actually pretty simple as well. So let me come here. Oops. Yeah, log in really quick. Standard security practice to log you out if you've taken too long. It's a good sign that we've got plenty of stuff to talk about. So I'm signing in with DocuSign, and then again, this is the administrator view of my DocuSign setup. So I can actually very quickly, what we notice here is the overview. And this is something that's pretty cool. We actually can track how things are being completed here inside of DocuSign itself. So in which case I can see any previous or outstanding documents that still need to be signed. I can associate them with the user and with an actual document type as well. And so there's all this sort of reporting and tracking information built right into DocuSign. So you can come in here and look at reports and be able to see a view, basically month by month and even day by day potentially, of how many documents have been sent out, what are their different statuses, kind of get a completion rate percentage. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. You can schedule these reports, which is really great. So you can come through here and look at all the different available reports and actually schedule them to be sent out in case you want to get information. So they really try to extend your tracking of your processes. So it's not just document signatures and e-signatures. It's actually on top of that providing analytics for you to be able to better improve your business. So in regards to setting up a template, I kind of want to show how simple this process really is. So in which case, I have two templates here. I've got my NDA and a simplified NDA template. So in order to create a new template, it's really as simple as clicking the new and create template. In which case, we can give our template a name. Let's call it the demo template and a description. Demo purposes. The next thing that's going to do is going to basically ask you to upload a document. Now you can connect it from the cloud if you had a cloud account, in which case I'm just going to upload it from my computer. Let me try this real quick. So I'm going to use my NDA template. We'll give it a second to upload. And we can actually preview the document in case we wanted to make sure it's the correct document. And here's the NDA document that we were using. Essentially, the next step here is we can write in a role. And again, this is the role of the person. So you can technically here within DocuSign, and we're passing this information from SharePoint through Nintex, but we can actually go and set our role here. We can have more than one recipient. We can actually have different requirements. Like if we need to do an in-person signer, we can do that. We can just send it as a CC or send it to somebody who needs to just view it. Or we can actually give the user the ability to edit the document if we really need to. So it's very flexible in how you design your processes through DocuSign, and it's not sort of only an e-signature solution. You can do a lot more than just that. So in this case, we're going to say, just call it person. We're not going to actually provide an actual name or email because we're going to pass that information in through Nintex. And then we can give a custom message, though, if you really wanted to. And we can customize these messages. These are the email messages through DocuSign itself. In which case, I'm going to move to the next step here, because again, this is just a demo. And this is to show how quick and easy it is to set up those fill-in-the-blank spots. So if you remember, we had a bunch of information on our non-disclosure agreement. We had information about the company, about the job title, the person's name. So really what's going to happen is you get the document here, and you've got a bunch of standardized fields that are just available out of the box. So in regards to this, we'll start by putting in here a date. So I can do my date signed. I think it's just a drag and drop functionality. We can actually make some modifications to the item itself, but we'll leave everything out of the box because it seems to work really well. So we'll say this is by in between person's name, right? And we'll say that it's a part of this company. And we can scroll down here to the end. We'll drag some of our information back in here. So we'll say company. We'll do that date signed again. That way this information is automatically filled for them. We got a job title, which we'll throw in down here. And we'll do our printed name. We can do the name. And then basically we can just pull the signature here. So what's really great is we can actually go and do additional things if we wanted to. So if potentially this was, say, a contract agreement, and they need to do a contract agreement, but also upload a separate NDA file, we can actually add attachments or notes, the ability to approve or decline as well. So you can actually kind of have an attachment inside of an electronic document, which gives you an extra degree of functionality there. And the signature thing is just drag and drop again. And really, that's how easy it is to make a template. I'm going to save and close this, and we've got our new template, right? So really, I can start to use this template right off the bat. We can, again, view it. You can see how the page views, and it's ready to go. So I really like to call this while I'm in SharePoint, and that's all it is to it. So really, with DocuSign and Nintex, it's just, they're two products that work really well together. And with the simplicity of DocuSign and then the simplicity of Nintex and SharePoint, you can basically really go through these with no problems. Really quickly put together a end-to-end process regarding e-signatures, and you're set to go. Let's come back here and we'll see where the workflow is at. So once this workflow gets completed, it's in progress because we're basically waiting on SharePoint to process the final document. What will end up happening is we see for this earlier item here, we've got a little paper clip. That's an indicator that the actual attachment is on the item. So the item will get sent back to SharePoint, so we can store a copy here within the item. So I can view that by viewing the form. We should see right here there's a signed NDA. So it's, again, a very nifty ability through the workflow to be able to send this content back. Let's go from here. So you might be wondering what other types of processes could be used to this sort of automation. Well, there really are tons of similar processes, I'm sure, within your business, just sort of waiting for improvement. Nintex and DocuSign can be used for automating things like employee onboarding processes. So again, if you've got job offers or equipment purchases or anything else like that, you could do it for something like that. It'd be great for contract agreements or even policy management. So if you need to get a policy signed off on and approved, you can do something like that. Change requests are a big one. Everyone deals with change requests in their day-to-day, and usually there has to be some sort of approval process built around that. So again, if you need to implement some sort of official signature, you can do that with DocuSign and Nintex. Invoice processing is, again, another big one because you need to be able to have agreements on that. You can do it all the way down to sort of simple things like your everyday business contracts and agreements. So the possibilities really are endless in regards to what you can do. So the next question to ask yourself is, well, how can you get started? And how about a free trial? Does that sound good? I know Nintex and DocuSign both offer trials for their products. So if you are interested in using this and you wanted to give it a go to start off, you can just basically start building automated processes today for free. I believe their trials are 30-day trials. So it's a great opportunity to kind of get in there and get your hands on these and start to see if it's something that fits your business without having to put a whole lot of money down up front. And then if you like help getting started the right way, Kiefer Consulting is here for you. We have extensive expertise in process automation, and we can aid you in your organization in sort of designing and building process automation solutions that work, right? That's what we're good at. So we would love to follow up with you, discuss your ideas and options for success. So essentially, at this point, I'm going to put up Brian's contact information. Brian, do you know if you had any questions or not yet on the? Go ahead.
We do have one here. It looks like Let me just see here. Is this using the Nintex Cloud or is this on-premise? That was the question from Joseph.
Sorry, the question from who?
Joseph.
Joseph. Hey, Joseph. Thank you. Yeah, so this technically what I'm showing right now is it is Nintex on-prem, but just for instance, just to show that this will work, the Office 365 version of Nintex with Nintex SharePoint, you can actually use DocuSign as well. So I've actually recreated this whole process that I've done today with on-prem. I've built it in the cloud, so it is completely possible to use in either or. I believe the Nintex's new product, their Workflow Cloud product, should have integration with DocuSign. It's going to be a little bit different because that product, it has separate integration with SharePoint. So hopefully that answered your question. I'm thinking, I was expecting that you're probably talking about the Nintex Office 365 product. The cloud product being brand new as of November, it should have integration, but it's just going to work a little bit different.
All right, thanks, Matt.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there's no other questions in the panel. I do have my email address up here on the screen right now. So if you do have any questions after the webinar ends, feel free to send them my way, and I can get them to Matt. So it looks like no more questions. Really, Matt, thanks a lot for kind of giving us a behind-the-scenes look at both DocuSign and Nintex. When we partnered with DocuSign, we read a number of case studies, and a lot of those case studies noted significant improvement in the process of collecting signatures in signature-dependent workflows. You know, these case studies, they highlighted these processes that once took days and were reduced down to hours. So internally, we've actually been using DocuSign for partner agreements, and we've seen a huge improvement in these signature-dependent workflows and the speed of getting these documents moving through our process. So it's kind of cool to be able to demonstrate it for folks, and then also be able to share our own experience with it as well. Thanks a lot for joining us today. I'm going to close out the webinar, and when this closes down, you're going to get a pop-up on your screen that's going to ask you 3 quick questions, just so that we get some feedback on these webinars. We do them every month. We advertise them through social media in our newsletter. So hopefully you'll join us again. Hopefully there's topics that interest you, and if there's something you're looking for more information on, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here, and we'd be happy to work with you. So with that, no more questions in the panel. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next month. Thanks a lot, Matt.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Have a great day.